Today we're checking out the Resident Evil 3 Collector's Edition. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys have a great day, and let's get into it. Hey, what is going on guys? Today I'm super excited because I've just received my Resident Evil 3 Collector's Edition. So yeah, I'm super pumped. This game was officially out yesterday on Friday the 3rd of April 2020. I've been super excited for this edition, and I hope you guys are just as excited to unbox this thing as I am. I'm so pumped for this. So thank you guys so much for taking the time to check out this video. Any and all support you guys drop on this video is much appreciated. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and leave a suggestion in the comments below for what video you guys want to see next. Okay, and so first up, let's go ahead and take a look at the front of the packaging. So we have a nice display of Resident Evil 3 Collector's Edition. And down here, this is rated 18 in the UK. And here's a look at the top of the packaging. So we have the STARS Raccoon City Police Department logo at the top. And here's a quick look at the side of the packaging. And so here's just a quick look at both of the Resident Evil Remake Collector's Editions. So right here, we have the Resident Evil 2 Collector's Edition. And of course here we have the Resident Evil 3 Collector's Edition. They're both pretty much the exact same from what I can see. As you can see, they're very similar in design, and yeah, they both look amazing. And so here's the back of the packaging, and so let's take a look at what comes with this edition. So first up, we have the map of Raccoon City. Next up, of course, we have the game. Here we have the main thing with this Collector's Edition. We have a nice statue of Jill Valentine. Really cannot wait to check that out. Next up, we have the art book, and we have the soundtrack for the game. And apart from that, we have the Resident Evil Resistance. Okay, and so let's go ahead and take a look at the inside of the box. So first up, we have the art book. Really cannot wait to check that out. Next up, we have the double-sided poster of Raccoon City. And here, of course, we have the game, which is in a really cool 3D lenticular cover. Very cool. And last up here, we have the soundtrack for the game. And so right under here, we have the statue of Jill Valentine. So yeah, very cool. There's a look at everything that comes with this edition. Let's go ahead and take a closer look. Alright guys, and so here is everything out of the packaging. And yeah, this is such a nice edition. I'm super happy with how this edition turned out. It's pretty much got everything that you would want in a collector's edition for a game. So yeah, I'm super happy, and it's probably one of the best editions that I've picked up in a while. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we have here. So first up, we have the statue of Jill Valentine, and this is a 12-inch statue, so it's pretty large. It's a pretty nice piece. I'll get into more detail a little bit later on, but yeah, I'm very happy with the statue. Of course, we have the game itself, and it comes with a 3D lenticular cover, which is super cool. Down here we have a map of Raccoon City, and it's also double-sided, so I'll give you guys a look at that a little bit later on. And of course right here we have the soundtrack for the game, which it actually comes with 2 discs, which I didn't expect, but yeah, very cool once again. And here we have the art book for the game. So yeah guys, there's a look at everything that comes in this edition. Let's go ahead and take a closer look. So yeah, stay tuned guys. Okay, and so first up, let's go ahead and take a look at the game. So yeah, as I mentioned, this has a 3D lenticular cover, so as you can see, it kind of moves. It's actually pretty well made, I quite like it. So yeah, right here we have Nemesis. I do quite like the new design of Nemesis, I think it's pretty cool. And of course right here we have the logo of the game, and here we have Jill and Carlos. Pretty cool. Here's a look at the spine of the game, and at the back we have some screenshots of the game and some bits of text, and of course we have the new mode, Resident Evil Resistance. Okay, and so let's go ahead and get the game unboxed. So let's get the cellophane of the case, and let's check it out. So yeah, I'm super excited to play this game. Resident Evil 3 is one of my all-time favorite games, and Nemesis is my all-time favorite video game villain, so I'm just so excited to finally play this game. And so let's get our sleeve of the game. I quite like the fact that the sleeve is a separate piece from the actual case itself. So let's get our sleeve to the side for the moment, and let's check out the game. So I'm not sure if there's going to be any codes in here. Let me just double check. So no codes. So yeah, it's just a blank case. So yeah, there's a look at the game itself. So let's get this back on here. And so next up, let's check out the soundtrack. So yeah, here's a look at the front. RE3 special soundtrack, and then we have the same image of Nemesis and Jill and Carlos. Pretty cool. Nothing on the spine, and the back just says produced by the sound and development teams. Here's a look at the inside. So as you can see, it kind of folds out, and we are presented with all of the tracks from the game. There's actually quite a lot of tracks here. I didn't expect there to be so many, but yeah, as you can see, we have the list of all the songs from the game. So here's a close-up in case you guys want to check that out. So yeah, feel free to pause and read if you guys want to read the texts. And here's a look at the other side. And of course we have the discs inside here, like so. So yeah, here's a look at the first disc. A nice image of Jill and Carlos. Pretty cool. So that's the disc 1. And let's get that back in here. And let's check out the disc 2, which is in here. So I guess this is the soundtrack for the Resident Evil Resistance. There seems to be quite a big deal about the Resident Evil Resistance. I don't know a great deal about the Resistance, but all I know is that it's multiplayer and it's online. And yeah, it seems to be pretty big, so I can't wait to check that out. Let's get that disc back in here. So yeah, there's a look at the soundtrack for the game. And so next up, let's check out the map. So this is a double-sided poster. So on this side, we have the map of Raccoon City, and on the other side, we have some other images, which I'll give you guys a look at. So let's get this thing folded out here, and let's check it out. Okay, and so here's a look at the map, fully extended. And yeah, we have a cool map of Raccoon City. So let's go ahead and check it out. So right here at the top, I guess we have all the locations of the map in the game. Here we have some text, so if you guys want to read it, then feel free to pause and read. But I guess it's supposed to look like handwritten notes on the map. I guess from Jill, I'm not entirely sure. And so here's a look at the bottom of the map. And it says, no survivors, extensive fire damage. And here's the other side. I quite like the smudge detail. It just makes the map look a bit more authentic. So yeah, there's a look at this side of the poster. And so here's a look at the other side of the poster. And so as you can see, we have a whole bunch of these images of all these stores from the game. It's very cool. I haven't played the game yet, so I'm not too familiar with these posters, but yeah, it's super cool of all these shops in the game. So if you guys want to see these posters in a bit more detail, then just feel free to pause on the video if you guys want to look at the image for a bit longer. But yeah, there's a look at the poster. Very cool. Okay, and so next up, let's go ahead and take a look at the art book. So yeah, I quite like the design of this art book. As you can see, we have a nice image of Raccoon City in the background with this red overtone. I think it works pretty well. And here we have Project N. And on the back, we have Project R. Very cool. It's very simple, but I think it works pretty well. So let's go ahead and take a look here. So I'm not going to go page by page because it's going to take a long time. I'll make a separate video showing this art book in a bit more detail. But yeah, for the moment, let's just take a quick overview of the art book. So yeah, as I mentioned, I haven't played the game yet, so I don't really want to spoil the game for myself if there's any spoilers in here. But yeah, let's check it out. So here we have some images of Raccoon City. Next up here we have some, I guess, some locations from the game. I actually recognize some of these places. I think this location was from the demo. And also the train, that was at the very start of the demo for the game. I quite like the design of this art book. It's not so much like an art book, it's more like a scrapbook of like various images from the game. And I quite like the fact that the images look like Polaroid photos. It just adds for a great effect. And so next up here we have some locations from the game. I don't really recognize these locations. These are probably later on in the game, so I don't really want to spoil the game for myself. But oh, here we have a nice photo of Nemesis. I actually haven't seen Nemesis in this particular design with the mask, I guess. This is actually the first time that I'm seeing this, and it's pretty cool. As I mentioned, I mean, I love Nemesis. He's my favorite video game villain. So I don't know what it is about Nemesis. I've just always loved this character. And yeah, I do quite like the design of this Nemesis. It's a lot different from the original games, but I think it works pretty well. So yeah, there's a look at Nemesis, and here's some more shots from the game. Pretty cool. I guess this is like the parasites. And next up here, what do we have? We have some nice images. Oh, here's a look at Jill and the original costume from the PS1. That's pretty cool. I haven't seen this before, so I guess this is like an unlockable costume in the game. I'm really not sure, but yeah, very, very cool. We have her information here. She's 23 years old, 5'5" and 108 pounds. Next up here we have Brad Vickers. And so moving on here, we have some art from Resident Evil Resistance. So as I mentioned, I don't really know what the Resistance is, but it seems to have a pretty big part in the game, so I'm pretty excited to check it out. But yeah, here's a look. I guess these are like maps from Resistance. I really don't know, but yeah, here's how it looks. These images are also very high quality. It's very crisp and clean. It's very clear to see. But yeah, here we have some objects from the game, and here we have the raccoon, and we have some more objects from the game, and some more maps. And I think we're coming close to the end here. But yeah, here we have some characters from Resistance. I have no idea who these characters are. These are brand new characters for Resistance. I think this is the final page here. So yeah, we have some more objects once again, some more information about the characters, and I think that's pretty much it. So yeah, there's a look at the art book for the game. Okay guys, and so finally, let's go ahead and check out the Jill Valentine statue. So yeah, here's how she looks. It's a very nice statue. So yeah, this statue stands 12 inches tall. It's a 1/6 scale statue. And yeah, it's pretty nicely done. It's made out of plastic, but it doesn't feel too cheap. It's actually pretty high quality. So yeah, I'm pretty impressed. It is still a pretty nice piece, and I think it turned out great. And yeah, I'm very happy with how it turned out. So yeah, let's go ahead and take a closer look at the statue. Okay, and so here's a look at the head sculpt. And yeah, it's a pretty good head sculpt. I do think she has quite a nice resemblance to how she looked in the game. Of course it's not 100%, but it's still a pretty good head sculpt. So yeah, the face is pretty good. I love the paint job. It's a pretty sharp sculpt. I think her eyes might be a tiny bit off. I mean, at certain angles, it looks like her eyes aren't lined up properly, but I think they are lined up. It's just certain angles which make her eyes look out of balance. And so here's a look at the body piece of the figure. As you can see, she's got a necklace in there, and she has a little flashlight on her shoulder belt. It's yeah, just very, very nice details. She even has like buttons sculpted on her shirt piece. Very, very fine, intricate detailings. And here's a look at the waist with all of these like pouches, the little walkie-talkie, I guess, and the holster for the gun. So the pistol is a separate piece. You have to insert that into her hand when you first get the figure out of the box, but it's pretty easy enough. And moving down here to her legs. So here's a look at the trouser piece, or the pants, whatever you want to call them. But yeah, very nice detailing, very nice folds and creases. It looks pretty realistic. And here's a look at the boots. Super nicely done. It's very detailed. I love the lace. It's just a super intricate detailing. And yeah, I think they've done a great job on the statue. I really do like it a lot. And here's a look at the display base, which is pretty much the exact same as the display base that came with the Leon figure that came with the Resident Evil 2 remake. And here's a look at the nameplates. So we have Jill Valentine in this gold outline. And so here's the back of the figure. And so here is the hairpiece. Super nicely done. You can really see every strand of hair just sculpted in there. And it's also got quite a nice paint job as well. And so here is her back. So as you can see, she's got the strap, which goes all the way to the front, and it's got like all these holsters for her pistols. And here's a look at all these pouches along her belts, and of course the holster at the side of her leg. So here is the back of the pants, and yeah, once again, super nice detailing, like all these folds and creases just sculpted in there. It's pretty realistic. Okay, and so here's a quick look at both of the statues from the Resident Evil remakes. So yeah, here's a look at Leon S. Kennedy from the Resident Evil 2 Remake Collector's Edition. Such a nice piece. I really love the statue a lot. And next up here we have Jill Valentine from the Resident Evil 3 Collector's Edition. I've got to say, the Jill figure has a much better sculpt. She looks way more detailed, and she has a much better paint job compared to Leon. So here's a little close-up on the figures. So first up, here we have Leon. I mean, he's got a pretty good head sculpt, but I just think the paint is a bit too thick on this figure. Whereas the Jill figure, she has a very fine paint job. It's very light, and I think the sculpt is a lot more sharp, and yeah, I just think it's a much better sculpt overall. I mean, I'm not sure about you guys, but I think Jill looks much better than Leon. I mean, in terms of the body piece, they're pretty much the same for the body. I don't really think there's too much of a difference in terms of the detail for the body. It's mainly just the head sculpt and the skin tone, which is the biggest difference on these figures. So yeah, there's a look at both of the figures. I would definitely recommend picking up the Jill figure. That is definitely the best figure out of the two. But yeah, the Leon figure is also very nice. And of course, they are held on by peg joints on the base. So yeah, there's a look at both of the Resident Evil Remake figures. And so just a quick recap on what we have here. So first up, we have the game. Next up, we have the packaging. And here we have the statue of Jill Valentine. Next up, we have the soundtrack for the game. We have the double-sided poster, and we have the art book. So yeah, there's a look at everything that comes with this edition. So if you guys are a fan of Resident Evil, then I think you will really enjoy this piece. It's just such a nice edition, and yeah, I'm super happy with how it turned out. This is a pretty rare piece. It is sold out super quick, so if you manage to pick one of these up, then you're very lucky, because this thing is very rare and it's sold out pretty fast. So yeah guys, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. If you guys are new here, be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and leave a suggestion in the comments below for what video you guys want to see next. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys on the next video. Alright, take it easy guys.